Guys, so I'm hearing all over about this 2,500 teachers posts that is being eliminated. So guys, you guys are gonna have to correct me if I'm wrong, right? If I've got the cat by the tail, please correct me, right? But let's say you're working on 2,500 teaching posts that's going to be cut, right? And you're working on an average of 40 children per class. Okay? So you're telling me 100,000 children in Cape Town is going to be without a teacher? Is that how you see it? Because if let's say one teacher affects 40 students, are you telling me that 100,000 students is going to be affected by this move? Or am I looking at it the wrong way? Because that's very, very concerning. I'm already having a struggle right now with the standards of the schools that I put my kids in when we moved into Kraaifontein. Now, I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to name schools. But when I put Isaiah in that school, that was a very, very good school. We had to go for an interview, and it was basically perfect because it was walking distance from the house. It was around the corner from the primary school, and it just made perfect sense. But now I've actually applied to have Ethan taken out of that school and put into another school in a different area that's twice as expensive, and it requires me to take him to school, or the owner to take him to school. He now cannot walk to school anymore. In an emergency, he cannot just walk home. He has to travel now. And what makes it even worse for me is I am now one of those parents that I used to have a problem with, where I said that, can't you send your child to a school in your area? Now you are coming and you are filling up the school in our area, so that when we who live in the bloody catchment area that is within 5 kilometers of the school, or whatever the distance is, we are now in doubt whether we're going to get a space. Because parents are bringing children from other areas. And you know what has happened, and I don't want to get into that, them and they and other people, other areas. I don't want to get into that politics. But I do get the feeling that the ones that are causing a lot of the problems that we are having at the school now, relating to discipline, because let me tell you, something that is happening at the school now is you regularly hear they're fighting. You regularly hear, oh, somebody had a fight at school, and now they're bringing people from the area to come and sort it out after school. Safety has become an issue. Guys, if you look at the way the standard of the school has dropped, and you know I judge the standard of a school not by how well the rugby field is mowed, not by how green the rugby field is. No, I check the standard of the school by one, how neat and tidy the children look when they come to school, the standard that they're willing to accept the children to come in, the way the children look when they walk to school and walk back, the haircuts of the school, of the children, is a very good indicator of the discipline of that school. And I can tell you now, I am wildly disappointed. I'm now starting to worry about things like safety for my kid. And this is a school that I'm talking about 10 years ago. This school was the benchmark in our area. And that was the school's biggest mistake. The school had such high standards, the school was doing well, that people from other areas were going, you must send your child to that school, man. I'm not going to name names of areas because, guys, I'm not going to say that parents are just trying to do the best for their children, but then the parents and the children is bringing their lower standards from their areas to our area. I'm not going to say that. That's an easy thing to say. But when you have a sports day and the parents, hulle raak so dronk dat hulle self nat pis op die sportsveld, terwyl hulle supposed to be om hulle kinders te support, then you must question, man, what is up with those people's values? If that people can be that drunk at a sports event that's not even in Cape Town. I can tell you, I went to a Model C school, and the one thing that they reminded us of every day is they used to tell us, this is not Mitchell's Plain, eh? Your parents sent you to this school so that you can improve your standards. They used to remind us on a daily. And although we saw that as an insult back in the day, and we were so offended, they had a point. They had a point. Because if the schools in our area's standards were so high and it was so cool, because there's going to be people ready to tell me, moenie jou area afdrukkie. Then why are there so many parents? Let me tell you, if everybody were by means, they would not send their children to those schools. Man, it's a snake eating its own tail. Because the people say that it's not them, yet the area standard is low. But now I'm the same parent. I'm having to send my child now out of our area into a different area. My kind moet nou in die Brackenfell school gaan. Ek bly in die Kraaifontein. Because the standards, and I have to now pay double the school fees. Double the school fees because 10 years ago they would have never allowed the children to come to school with slippers and socks. I see it. They would have never allowed the children with their hair to look the way that they look now. There was a few issues I remember over the years that were talking about some Rasta kids and this and that. And when it's your religion, it's your religion. I can understand. But we used to have very, very clear standards around what is acceptable for a haircut. Kinders dra wit kouse now. We could never wear white socks. We had to wear grey socks. We used to have set standards on the dress code, on the rules, and they enforced it to the letter. Who do I blame? Do I blame the principal? Do I blame the teachers? Do I blame the parents? Who do I blame? But I'm left with a situation now where ek kan nie my kind safely near school to steal nie. Not guaranteed. When I pull up there in the afternoon, the groups of people waiting outside, there's no difference between the school in my area and where I come from. And somehow the pride that is supposed to be instilled in the school, in the students, it's not there. Who do I blame? Do I blame the principal? Do I blame the teachers? Because I can tell you now, I'm trying my darndest with my children to teach them a standard. I will never go to a sports day and support, in inverted commas, but support so much dat ek vir my so dronk drink dat ek of my nat pis op die bus huis toe. That is definitely not something I would do. So now I'm fighting to get my child in a school that I can barely afford. That is outside of my area, taking up a space of another child that is from that area. Because ek kan nie meer nie. And now Zeki, who's at the primary school that is supposed to be the feeder for that high school, now cannot do the natural progression from the primary school, because I can tell you now that primary school standards is high. They have maintained and even better their standards in the years that we've gone there. I cannot have a legacy now of all my children going to one primary school, all my children going to one high school, and build a legacy. I can't do that. That has been taken away from me because the standards of the high school is in the drain. And as a parent, it messes me up. Do you think I want to send my child in grade 8? I want to send my child to another school. You are robbing us. You are robbing us of our traditions because you cannot maintain the standards. But what do you expect? You have a meeting and then you have 5 parents getting up in the meeting en hulle gaan nou die hoofkak vertel. Because hulle het 'n personal vendetta teen aan die hoof. No fucking decorum. But okay, ek is maar net 'n ou wat complain. Here help ons almal.